Right, shall we have a look at some sort of, well, I think it's happier news. I'm slightly sceptical. Rory McIlroy and his wife have decided to give their relationship another go. He filed for divorce just a month ago.
Yes, the couple have been together for 7 years and share a 4-year-old daughter. And they said to have been excited for a new beginning as a family.
It all comes ahead of the US Open, with many thinking this decision will boost his state of mind during the tournament.
Well, joining us now to discuss all of this is divorce coach Sarah Davison. Good to see you this morning. What do you make of this story then?
Well, I think it's really good news, and I do think that it is going to give Rory a boost for his tournament ahead. I think that a lot of people don't realise just how traumatic divorce actually is. And then when they call it, when they make that decision, especially when they go public on the big scale that they have, I think the reality starts to hit home. And the reality is that it is very, very difficult going through a divorce. In fact, it's known as the second most traumatic life experience we go through after death of a loved one. And many people don't know that until they're thrown into it. I know I certainly didn't before I got catapulted into my own divorce. The reality is that you are facing life on your own. So you're spending more time on your own, you're sleeping on your own in the bed, you're shopping and cooking for one. If you're suddenly a single parent, as they would be, again, the roles are split. And that's before you start thinking about changes in lifestyle. Maybe for them, it's not so drastic with the money they have, but for a lot of people, it's a huge change in lifestyle. So we don't really expect the impact that you get when you're suddenly thrown into it. So quite common, actually, for people to change their minds and give it another go when they start to face the real reality.
Yeah, but when you've announced it, especially so publicly, so that's an issue when you're in the spotlight as these two are. But also to say, well, you know, it's more difficult than we expected, doesn't address the problems which led to the decision in the first place.
No, but this is another really interesting thing, Stephen. You bring up a great point, because when we're going through a breakup, when the relationship is breaking down, what are we focusing on? We're focusing on all the negative emotions. We're focusing on the things that upset us about our partner, the things they're doing that are grating on us or making us upset or angry or hurting us. But actually, when we separate, our value for our partner actually increases in a lot of cases, because the way we're wired means that we're focusing on all the good things we're missing out on. That's why a lot of people stay in heartbreak and get stuck in heartbreak. Even though they know that partner's not really good for them, our mind sort of filters out all the bad things and focuses on the good things. And we remember the things that were good and worry about the things we might be missing out on. So I think quite often we do see that. But obviously, if there are issues in the relationship, then they're not going to be solved without a lot of work. And that actually needs a commitment from both parties to decide they're going to work through this together. And especially if you've got children, it's worth giving it a go and doing everything you can to save it. But maybe the amount of trauma and upset and disruption it was causing is just too much when he's going into something so important right now for his career. And maybe this is why it's like, let's just park this, let's get back together, take away that initial heartbreak right now so we can focus. And then maybe we'll see they'll readjust it if they can't work it through later on.
Sarah, does it say something about our society or where relationships are at now, where people just give up? They think that they can do better. Perhaps social media has something to do with that. And the D word in marriage might get thrown around a bit more than it might have been thrown around before.
Oh, absolutely, Ellie. I see this all the time. People, if they have an argument, they'll throw the divorce word into that conversation. And I think we live in a highly disposable society these days. So if we don't like something, we're going to change it. We're going to change it quick. We're not going to think about it too much. And I think, again, this is where the problem is. And when you look at dating apps, that is another big issue, because it's actually scientifically proven that if you have to choose between one or two other partners or anything in life, if you've got a choice between 2 or 3 things, when you make your decision, you're statistically more likely to be happy with that decision because your choice is smaller. Whereas if you're on a dating app and there's thousands of potential partners for you, you might pick one and then try that, but your mind will always be thinking, oh, maybe the others would be better, or there's more opportunities out there. This person doesn't tick all my boxes, which again is unrealistic in a lot of cases. So we want to look at, then you're looking to think about all the other people, which causes so much more dissatisfaction satisfaction with your choice if you've got more options. So if you look at the dating pool right now, that is often why people are circling and you see the same faces time and time again on those dating apps.
Oh, there you go. Well, look, best of luck to them. That's all you can say. Sarah Davison, good to see you. Thanks very much indeed. I don't know,
I'm with you, though. I think if you put it out there publicly, you've basically alerted the whole world that there's serious problems in your marriage. Yeah, the front page of the Daily Mail today is saying that this is Rory McIlroy's team have told him to give the marriage another 6 months. Cynics might say that's just because he's about to...
Well, I'm slightly sceptical about saying, you know, you need to give it another go because you're about to start the US Open.
The US Open.
It's not... It's a bit odd.
But you never know. Right now.
Maybe Sarah's right and he's just realised after being apart from her for a month that he doesn't want to be apart from her. So...
Well, other reports in the media today say he's only just realised how much money he would lose.